Speaking about income producing assets, which is your view on dividend income fallacy? Because there are plenty of investors who think that safe withdrawal rate doesn't matter because you can simply pick some stocks paying you dividends and you are safe.
Yeah, so I think the whole dividend thing, and historically owning dividend stocks actually worked and it actually outperformed overall markets. That was at least through, I don't know through what time period exactly, but I remember reading stuff from like Tweedy Brown and a bunch of other investment firms that showed like, yes, owning high dividend paying stocks was actually a profitable strategy. The problem is corporate finance strategy has changed. And so not everyone pays a dividend anymore, right? There's a lot of companies out there that don't pay dividends, right? Like, as far as I know, Berkshire Hathaway has never paid a dividend, right? And because of that, they're always reinvesting their money or they're holding cash and they're saying, hey, we're gonna be the stewards of the cash and we know what to do with it, right? And they can build a lot of wealth that way. So if the money is in the right hands at those companies and you have really good capital allocators, they're probably going to do a better job than you. And doesn't mean they always will, but that's just the case where dividends aren't everything. I'm not saying they're nothing. So I'm not discounting dividends, but I don't think it's like, oh, dividends paying stocks are going to do better. If you look at like some of those dividend indices and compare it to the S&P 500, you'll see that like most of them have not outperformed the overall market when you include total return, right? Mm-hmm. And so it goes to show that like just because something's paying you a dividend, yes, there's that psychological crutch of I get this check every month, but at the end of the day, like, the S&P 500, you're not seeing the check, the price is just going up more and it's in your balance. You're just not seeing that. You're not seeing a separate payment. And I think that's where the confusion starts to happen. So that's the only thing I would say. I'm not against it. And if you love the idea of, oh my gosh, I just need to buy these 10 dividend stocks and I get this check every quarter and I love it, that's great. I have nothing against that, but just keep in mind that may not necessarily, maximize your wealth on when it comes to equity risk.
As you said, the dividends matter, at least psychologically. They are like, some buffer assets. I think Wade Pfau said that he made some research and 1/3 of people do not resonate actually, or 2/3 do not resonate with this probability-based approach. So they prefer safety first principle.
Yeah. And I think dividend stocks, the other thing too, which I think is a fair point, for example, during the Great Depression, stock prices dropped by about 90% at the bottom, right? So very bad. I mean, especially in the last year, I think from 31 to 32, I think they dropped like 60% and they were already down like quite a bit at that point. So they dropped 90%. But dividends only dropped by 50%. So companies were paying out cash and those cash flows got cut in half while the prices got cut, got 1/10, right? So $100 became $10, but $100 in dividend income only became $50. So that goes to show that like there is something there. Like if you're living off the income of dividends, your principal may drop a lot, but the dividends don't drop as much. And because of that, there is a good point to be made of, okay, well, if I am living off the income from this, I know with higher certainty that the dividend paying stocks are likely to keep paying. And even if they have to cut dividends, they won't cut as badly as people are likely to cut prices. So I think that is actually a better argument if I'm going to defend the dividend people. And I think that data point right there illustrates it, right? Because companies want to keep paying dividends to make their shareholders happy. So
maybe like Gazprom today, right? Because the stock is worth zero, but at least, I don't know, from what I've noticed, because there is a special committee valuing stocks right now, not a free market anymore. But maybe it still offers dividends. I don't know.
Yeah, we don't know. So.